Welcome to week 2 of the time-lapse slash commentary for a project that still doesn't have an official name, but I guess I'll start this video by talking about a few ideas that I did have for an official project name. And I've decided that my criteria for a good name is something that explains the whole idea of the plugin in just a few words, preferably one word. It should also be something that is marketable, easy to remember, and hopefully catchy overall. And the only idea I've had that fits that criteria is project governance, or maybe just governance alone. The only reason I picked the word governance over the word government is because it's a little less boring in my mind anyway. Still have a few weeks to think about it, so we'll see where I go with that. Anyways, what you're watching right now is me struggling for a few hours, even days, on a certain feature that I was having trouble adding, and that was the decision to create all of my different government types in different classes, doing it the object-oriented way, or just putting it all into one government manager class. And I struggled with this for a few hours, not really knowing what I was doing, and truth be told, this is the biggest project I've ever worked on, so I may be a little bit in over my head regarding the size of the project. But it's too late to turn back now, so we're gonna go with it. I'm not sure if my frustration is visible on camera, but it was pretty demoralizing having to go back and delete everything I just worked on and start over from scratch halfway into the week. So at this point, I've basically made no progress. I'm worrying if I'm even gonna finish in time, and if I'm even capable of making a project like this. So this is the phase of a project that I like to call the mid-project crisis, when I'm just doubting myself, my abilities, and whether or not this thing is even possible. But this negative thought seems to come into my head during every large project that I work on, and it's never actually caused me to give up on something. And I've always pushed through to the end, and that's what I'm going to do with this one. The day after that disappointment, I got back at it, started recoding the government system from scratch, doing it the right way, in a way I was able to actually understand as well. So things started moving again, making progress at a pretty good rate, and I think I passed that little hurdle of the project. Hopefully I don't run into anything else like that. I think I'm at the point where most of the meat and potatoes of the project itself is over and done with, and I won't have to worry about any more big issues since all of the major decisions have been made and coded. So now that I've coded the majority of the base systems that I'll be using throughout the project, I started going back into the other classes from last week and filling out some of the empty code where I was just kind of waiting to finish the other features. Up until this point, basically all of my work was done within the IDE itself. A lot of coding, not a lot of testing. So now I'm starting to get into the game itself, and I'm implementing tangible features that will actually be used by the players. So this is where I added a basic leadership system where players can elect leaders and it'll save them in the config using their universal unique ID. Added the base structure of a proposal and voting system. Still has a long way to go, but at least the structure is there, and it'll help me a lot during the next few weeks. Next, I started working on the announcement system, which is basically what will happen when certain events trigger in-game. Messages will send, or sounds will play, which are actually configurable in the config now, on a local and global level, in case server owners don't want all of their players hearing these potentially annoying sounds. At the end, I just fixed a few bugs, cleaned up a few redundant methods, and ended what was a pretty good week.